This is my favorite thing today. In order to, quote, avoid apparent conflicts of interest, 2 Federal Reserve officials sold off all of their stocks in November last year. In other words, they publicly cashed out right at the peak of the biggest market bubble of all time, which they themselves created and profited from. It should be entirely illegal for members of the Fed to trade stocks, let alone to pump the price of those stocks and then sell them at the tippy top of the market bubble. This is absolutely batshit crazy, dystopian level insider trading and treason. And the only reason I feel so compelled to talk about it is because nobody else really is. The guys who dictate our monetary policy, the very people who decided to inflate our fiat currency supply by over 33% the last 2 years, and did so without any input whatsoever from the American people, thus putting us in a position to be taxed by inflation without our representation, they juiced the markets and the value of their own assets, benefiting directly from their own reckless decisions made as members of the Federal Reserve. This, more than anything else, is what I need all of you to understand. The central bank, which is in charge of creating our money, is a private financial institution owned by the major banks. J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Citibank, Wells Fargo, BNY Mellon, etc. It was conceived by monopolistic banking tycoons such as J.P. Morgan himself, and has been gradually working to consolidate wealth and impoverish the working class ever since its inception. Over time, the pattern is clear. The Federal Reserve banking cartel has consistently succeeded in making the rich richer, and the rest of us poorer. Since the Fed was created, things have only moved in that direction, never in the other direction, not for a single moment. The thing is, this process has accelerated over time and gotten way more blatant and way more aggressive, particularly in the last 30 years, the last 15 years, and especially the last 2 years, to the point where even people like me, who never understood it or paid any attention to this before, now even I know what's going on. We are at a boiling point, and I am truly shocked that the American people have not already burned down all of Washington, D.C. And the reason for that is because not enough people actually understand what I'm talking about. That says a lot about how effective the U.S. government has been in spreading propaganda and misinformation. If you're still with me, then you understand why I might lose my shit when I hear the White House Press Secretary, Jen Psaki, go on national television and try to blame inflation on Vladimir Putin. That is blatant misinformation. Then that very same administration has the audacity to turn around and create an actual Ministry of Truth, which they're calling a Disinformation Governance Board. Okay. I'm going to be honest. I think the biggest mistake the MAGA dorks made last year was to attack the Capitol building, instead of targeting the Federal Reserve building. Because our government is not inherently corrupt. It's the Federal Reserve that was designed on an institutional level to subjugate working-class Americans and diminish our way of life. The Fed is the poison that has caused the wealth gap to grow so large, resulting in ultra-rich plutocrats having way too much influence over the U.S. government. If you want to fix the world, you aren't going to be able to do it unless your plan involves killing the Federal Reserve. That's it for now. Sic Semper Tyrannis.